what we're going to do today, what I thought I would do is take you guys through, first of all, show you how to get into the portion of Remind where the website settings are located, show you how to set it up, how to put your branding information on the site itself. Go through, show you, you can put your photo on there. You can pick a photo of your own if you want to put that as a background image. So I thought I would just go through and tell you a little bit about how to set this up. And then we'll, of course, I'll be glad to answer questions as we move forward. What I'm going to do from the FMLS homepage, I'm going to go up and on the products link right at the top of the page, we probably 4 or 5 months ago, we added in, of course, we've had Remind for a little bit, but we also have added in the Remind Docs Plus. Now remember, there's 3 places in Remind. The Remind link will take you into the farming section or the Remind Pro section of the Remind product. Remind Docs Plus, of course, is where you go in for any and all of your transaction management, where you go in, you build your transaction files, you put your documents and your forms in there, you email those out for your electronic signatures. So the 2 that you see here are the 2 that's most widely used. Now to get to the settings for the website, I'm just hovering over products. I'm going to click on Remind at the top of the page. And when I click on Remind, then it's going to open up. What this opens is it's actually the Remind farming homepage. So, okay, so what you're going to see here, I've just opened the Remind, the farming page. This is where you start. If you come to the farming section, where of course you can go out and decide where you want to farm. You have all these great preferences as far as filters you can put on your maps and decide, hey, is this a good area to farm? What's the mortgage payoff in these areas? Is it cash buyers? Are there any distressed properties in this section? So there's a lot of good things in this class. So it's called Remind Farming. Remind Farming is also known as Remind Pro. So we are in the Remind Pro section right now, or farming. If you go down to your name at the bottom, it's probably on the, should be on the right hand, I'm sorry, the left hand side of your screen at the bottom, you're going to see your name. If you click on your name at the bottom of the screen, that's going to open up a little pop-out window that looks like this, and it's going to have your name, and hopefully it says Pro under it, because all of our members, you guys are, you do have the Pro version of Remind, which is a pretty awesome thing because you can do so much in here. But what I'd like you to do for me is click, if you're following me, or if you just want to jot this down, click Settings. Now, when you click on the Settings tab, what that's going to do, it's going to open a page that looks like this. So what this page will do, this is going to set all of your preferences for the Remind product. At the top of the page, you can go out and find your photo. You can change your photo at any point. You just simply say, change photo. You go out, you find your file, just as if you were uploading a picture of a house. But you go out, you find your photo, bring in the photo that you want to use. You can crop it. It's not a lot of editing tools available, but of course you can crop it and try to center it, whatever you'd like to do. And again, you can change this at any point by doing the same thing that we're doing now. So that's what you're going to see here. This photo, it says right underneath that, it says this is the public facing photo that will be seen on your home page and a client portal. So this is what people will see when they go into your website, when they go into anything from you that's coming from Remind. So as we scroll down, you're going to see information here that's going to talk about your FMLS, any whatever email address that you have linked to FMLS. And you have an edit account info link up in the top of many of these different screens, these different portions of the screen. So if you ever need to edit something, you can click the edit, and it's going to open up just the boxes or the windows on the left side of the screen that you can actually change. So I just want you to know that. Now, we do like to encourage the agents to keep your FML or the email address that you have linked with FMLS, keep that also linked with Remind, because you are found in the system basically using your email address with FMLS. So it's a good thing to probably keep these email addresses the same. Now, if I scroll down, of course, we're not going to talk about this today. All Moody's Analytics is. Moody's is a program that it uses a lot of analytical data that is used mainly for commercial properties. I used to sell commercial some when I was selling back, 492 years ago, it seems like. But this is something you guys can go into. This is something you pay for. It's about, I think it's $49.99 or $49 a month, but it does give you some good commercial analytics that's available to you. So I'm just going to bypass that. We're going to keep on going. The next section that you have, it says your preferences. And again, it says these will appear on your Remind homepage, your portal, and any PDF that you generate in the Remind system. So all of the information that's located here is coming directly from whatever information you have listed with FMLS. So I will show you toward the end of the session real quickly how to change anything in FMLS if you need to. Now I'm going to continue down the screen. The impersonation section, this is just if, let's say you're going to be on vacation for a month. Wouldn't that be nice? You're going to be on vacation and you want to have someone be able to go in and take care of your clients while you're gone. You can actually go in and invite someone in. As you see here, I have a couple of folks that FMLS folks that I have invited in and said, okay, if I'm going to be out, you can have my files in Remind while I'm gone. Of course, I have them turned off right now because I'm not on vacation, nor am I at the beach or anything else. So of course I have them turned off, but that's what this section is right here. So now we're finally going to get to, as you continue down your screen, you're going to finally get to where it says social profile. And it says at the top here, it says you can customize your social profile by creating a custom URL, uploading your logo, change your background image, write your own welcome message, whatever you'd like for your clients to see when they go to your personal URL, which is also known as your website. Now, you're going to see something here that says custom URL. Now, guys, the main word I want you to see right here is permanent, which means if you go in and you establish, you probably, it's been forever since I've set mine, but you probably have a box, if you've never set this before, that will ask you to go in and create your own URL name. Now, I will tell you, it may not be the best, and I'm of course not telling you what to do, but I encourage you to think about, if you think you're going to get married, divorced, if you decide you're going to be called Cookie or something like that, don't use something that could change, because this is the most difficult thing ever to get changed. I will tell you, 3 years ago when we were testing this product, I, like a big dummy, I put in Mickey Mouse, no kidding, because I was testing, I was in here, I was like, okay, Mickey Mouse. It took me a month to get that changed, and I work here and I know these guys at Remind. So just don't do it. Put something in that's not going to change, something you can live with. Don't go and put in ABC Realty and then, 6 months from now you change realty companies. If you think your name is going to change, don't use it. So be very, very cautious with getting this put in here. Make sure it's something that you're not going to change. So my name is Joy Hardeman. I was born with that name, and I guess I will die with that name. I've never taken on a married name, and this is me, and that's who I am. So that's the reason I have it in there. You will see directly beside this, once you create your URL name, you're going to see, I want to show you a couple of things. First of all, you're going to see these, it looks like two pieces of paper, maybe lying on top of one another, or two boxes. If you click on top of that, it's going to tell you copied. Now, what that's doing, once you establish your URL name for the site, that is going to copy. If I click right here, it's a quick way to copy that URL. Now, why is that important to you? Because you can take that URL that you're creating and you're going to be able to use that in your social media, on any of your social media sites. You're going to be able to use it on a blog. You're going to be able, and I thought I had all this turned off, but you're going to be able to go and use it on a blog. You're going to be able to put it on any type of, let me close down all of this. We're going to say no. There we go. So you can use it blog, you can use it on your social media, you can use it on your website. So there's a lot of things you can do here. Now, once you establish this, please remember it is permanent. So that is going to be your custom URL. This is extremely important. This is the bread and butter of establishing this website. So you definitely need to do that. And if you need to think about it before you put something in there, you don't have to set it right now. We're going to come back. You're going to see at the top where you have a view profile. We're going to come back to that after I show you how to set some of the other things in here. As you scroll down the screen, you're going to see where you can go in and upload a logo. Now, this is, of course, I have the FMLS logo in here for my particular URL. You can, I'm sure that you guys have rules and regs on using the solid source or your personal logos or whatever that will be. So just abide by whatever your guidelines are. The one thing I want you to notice here, though, is this is a very small logo. 140 pixels by 50 pixels. If you guys have ever been on realtor.com or some of these other real estate sites, majority of the sizes of the photos on there for your personal photo or your logo is 200 by 200. This is even smaller than what you have on there. So as you see, this is going to be the size of the actual logo. Now, the system automatically will resize your photo for you or your logo for you, as long as it's not something like 1280 by 800. If it gets up into those ranges, it's going to tell you it's too large. So just know that there is a size, a pixel that you need to keep that within. And you can, of course, change this at any point in time. If you want to go in and delete that, you don't have to have that on there. You can delete it and start over. So you can change this at any point in time that you want to. Now I'm going to scroll down to where you're going to see something that says background image. Now you guys will probably have 3 images there. I have a 4th image because I just went out and uploaded my own image that just, matter of fact, I think I uploaded this in class one day, but it too will give you the dimensions, 1920 by 360. So these dimensions can sometimes be important for you. But the good thing is the system, if they're too large, it's going to come back and tell you that that photo is too large and you need to crop it or adjust the size of it. But if you'll notice on my screen and probably on yours as well, these photos are in color. They're pretty. I can see a lot of green grass on this photo here. I have kind of the muted golden windows and so forth. But when you put a photo, when you select a photo, if I want to go over here and select this photo, it tells me that it's been changed and it's been changed successfully. That's fine. But when you'll see here in just a minute, all these nice colors and everything, when it goes onto your website, this becomes black and white. So don't spend a lot of time finding the most colorful photo that you can possibly find to put on this website, because it's going to all be in black and white. The background image will be in black and white. So don't think it's broken. For whatever reason, Remind made that change about 3 to 4 months ago. And the thought process is, which makes sense, but this is all about branding you as an agent. the background image being in black and white, it lets your signature and your photo and your information stand out a little bit more. So that's kind of the thought process on Remind's side. You may come in here one day and this is liable to be in color again, but just right now, just know whatever background image you use is going to display in black and white. So I do want you to know that because it used to not be that way. Now I'm going to come on down the screen. You're going to see something that talks about the welcome message. And it says here, provide a welcome title and a personal greeting message to users who visit your social profile. Well, guys, social profile is your website. And some of the wording on this may change, but the social profile is going to be your website. And you see up in the upper right corner, again, you have an edit window. So if I click edit right here, it's going to open these fields so that I can go in and actually change the title to my website. I can change the message for my website. So you can put anything at all in these boxes that you like. Of course, your title, you're going to see it in a minute. It's going to be the very first thing that someone's going to see when they go into your website. And then your message will be directly under that people can read. Now, if you have a slogan, if you have a tagline, something along those lines, you can, of course, put that in underneath the message itself. And please don't pay attention to my editing tools down here because that is not something you guys will have. But you put in here anything that you want to put in. Keep it consistent. I would like to, just on a branding standpoint, try to keep it consistent across your sites and across your social media. So I've had this enjoy your real estate experience, a play on my name. I've had that forever. So of course I have it in my message window. So once you get this the way you want to, if you make any changes, you do have to click save, because if you don't, it's going to revert back to whatever you had it set to before. So when you click to save your changes, you're going to get a little success window at the upper right corner that will tell you that that has been changed. I'm going to scroll down a little bit further, and it talks about your social media. What happens that you're going to see in a second here, if you have social media, if you are a big social media user, you can go in, you can put your Facebook, you can actually put in your link to Facebook. You'll see in a minute what's going to happen. This will actually become a link on your URL on your homepage. You can also go in and put your Twitter, YouTube, if you have a specific YouTube channel that you want to link to, if you want to put Instagram on here, LinkedIn, if you use WhatsApp, Snapchat, or Google Maps. Now you may be thinking Google Maps, why would I use Google Maps? Google Maps would be good if perhaps you want to go outside of Remind, outside of FMLS, go to Google Maps, maybe find your office on Google Maps. When you find your office, just go up and copy your office address and then come back in here. And then if you go to the edit window, then I could come down here, and if I had my office address, I could simply paste that office address in my Google Maps, and it's going to create a link for me on my website. So that's just a thought. It's not something you have to do, but if you'd like to do that, where you have your actual office address placed in here, go find it through Google, just copy the web address and come back in here and paste it. And then once you get all of these in here, the ones that you want to use, you're going to create the save button. It'll, of course, give you your pop-up telling you that it has been saved. Now, you don't have to use all of them, but you can use the ones that of course, you want to. So now, as we move on down, this talks about listing display. So on your website, you're going to be able to display a link that will say, here's my active listings. Well, maybe you're not a listing agent. Maybe you work just on the buyer side. Maybe you are a certified ABR, accredited buyer's rep. And if that's the case, then maybe you don't want to have the active listings turned on. Then just click it. This is a toggle button. Click it to turn it on, click it to turn it off. So this is going to be totally up to you. If you want recently sold properties to be added that you've recently sold, again, this is a toggle. You simply click it to turn it on, click it to turn it off. And then the next thing I'm going to talk to you about right here is this says get me an offer. This is something that in our market, we just don't typically use this. This is for if somebody is on your site and they say, hey, I want to sell my house and I want to get one of these cash offer companies to send me an offer and I'm open to that, then you can turn this on here. Now, I, of course, keep mine turned off because everything I do is on a test basis or with dummy accounts or whatever. But what this does is it's going to allow one of these cash offer companies to notify your client to possibly give them an offer on their property. You will get notified, but I'm just going to leave it at that and say this is going to be up to you. So I have mine off, and even if I were still selling in the market, I would probably have that off anyway, just because that's my personal preference. But again, you guys can do whatever you want to do here. So the bottom of this is just going to give you additional information. The only other thing I'd like you to see, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom here. You're going to see something that is new. And this talks about a search snippet. I do have this turned on, which means that this is some coding that you can actually go in and say, click to copy. If you copy the code, this is HTML code here. If you have a website, if you have a blog, if you have anything at all like that, and you want to drop in a search window into your blog or into your website or something along those lines, you can copy the code here and then drop this in. You would need to go wherever, however you manage your website or your blog. Most of the time your blog will have, the manager portion of it, but you can copy this and paste it into your blog or your website. And then you see this little box right here at the bottom. It's going to drop this box into wherever you paste this code. So, and it sounds all, complicated, paste code and, HTML and all that. Guys, it's nothing more than say, click to copy it, go to the manager of your blog or website online, paste it in there, and then this is going to show up for you. And then you can invite people to your blog, to your website, and then they can search on your homepage, your website, your blog. So I did want to bring that to your attention because this has only been out for about a month, probably about a month now. So this is something new that we just released, making this available. Now I'm going to come back up my screen. We've set all of our different pieces of information on our website. So if I go all the way to the top, back where it says social, or not the very top, but where it says social profile, I'm going to go over and click where it says view profile. When I click to view the profile, this is what you're going to see. Now, that search snippet that I was telling you about, it's located right at the top of this page right here. Here's my information as far as me as an agent. I have a link here that says for agents, log in or sign up. If I scroll down, remember that background page that I told you is going to show up in black and white? Well, there's that background image, and it is in black and white, and it is supposed to be so it will make your information pop a little bit more than if it happened to be in color. So as I scroll down, the welcome message is going to say, welcome to your personal search page. And then this is exactly what I had typed in. So you can create your own welcome message and put whatever you'd like to put in it. The social media link that I had included on that setup page, on that preferences page. These are links. They're automatically created once you put the link address in the setups page or in your preferences. They're going to display here as a link on your website page. I have my information as far as contact information along the bottom. If I go to my broker info, it's going to open up the company name. It'll open up your company name, the phone number, and then the address. So there's all the information about you and about your company. And then if I want to share the profile, you see at the bottom here, I have a share profile link. If I click to share, show you that again, share profile, it's going to open up those different social media links again. Remine and this particular product is very social media friendly. So it's saying, hey, get this out there, send the link to someone, send it via email, put it on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, put it on your social media site. So it is a very social media friendly product. So if I want to do that directly from here, I can. Also, additional info, all this is going to do, this is going to typically, if I had my license number in here, it would give me my license number, I believe. I've always had just staff because that's the way we're listed in the system. Then you're going to come up to something that says, want to explore listings. So this is your website. Now, this is exactly what someone will see. In Remine, clients have to be invited in to Remine by an agent. So that's what this is saying right here. It says sign up with Remine to explore properties and collaborate with me and any co-buyers all in one place. So people ask all the time, in order to use the e-sign system or the document system, does someone have to register with Remine in order to do that? Do all my clients have to register? The answer to that is no. Your clients can register with Remine under your name, which under your agent name. And then when they go into Remine to search, it's going to link everything directly back to you. It's not based on how much money you pay, if you're going to be a preferred agent that displays on the far right side of the screen. It doesn't matter. This is going to link anyone that registers with Remine through your URL. It's going to link them directly to you. You will become their agent. So as they go in to register, and then they go to the next page, there's going to be a page that pops up that says, are you registered with an agent? And then they put your name in, and they say, the bottom part of the screen will say, find your agent. You click, or they'll click on that, and then your name pops up. They click it, and then that's going to link you and your client together. That gives your client the ability to search on your website for properties. Now, when I say search for properties, if you see this top area here, this is that search snippet. I'm going to click in there. Well, actually, I'm not, because I'm not in as a client. But if someone clicks in here, then they can go in and actually search for whatever that they're wanting to search for off of your particular website. So this is what the agent website will do. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to say, I think I've got, let me log in here. I think I just clicked log in there. Now I don't know. Let me see if this is there we go. So now I am logged in as a client. Okay, this is just a dummy account that I had created, and I'm logged in as a client. You see how this search window is now open? So once your client goes in and they log in, they find you as the agent, and they link directly to you, this is exactly what they're going to see. It's the same page. It is your URL. Remember that URL that I said, make sure that you put something in there that's not going to change. That's exactly the page that we're on now. So that's the reason it's real important to keep that the same. Let's say that somebody comes in and they want to search for a property, one of your clients, they want to search for a property in Johns Creek, Georgia. They type in Johns Creek, here's Johns Creek, Georgia. They go in, and then this is what they're going to see. So you have the capabilities to allow your clients to go in here and do what I've just did right here. Now you're going to see on the screen here, it's going to outline the area for Johns Creek. I do have layers in the upper left-hand corner that I can scroll through to pull out different filters. If I want to put those in here, you can draw, or they can draw on the map. Perhaps they only want to see the north side of Alpharetta or Johns Creek. So they can go in and draw. They can draw a polygon, a rectangle, and all they do is just simply, it's very simple. So now everything else will go away. The client will be able to see, if you see over here to the far side, the properties will display on the far side of the screen, and they will highlight on the map over here, depending on the property that they're setting on top of over here. If you click, or if they click on top of a property, then when they go into the property itself, and I love the little giraffe there, when they go into the property, this is what they're going to see. So they're going to be able to go in and search and get information about the property. They can scroll through photos right here. It'll tell you here, if I click on the number of photos, that's going to open up the photos over here in the thumbnail view. So I can click from one to the other very quickly. If I just click to go back to the address, they can click to go back. Now look at the information that they have available here. They can favorite this property. If it's something that they like and they want to favorite, they can favorite. It can also be shared. It's going to give the information about the property, the MLS number, HOA fees, how long that property's been owned by this particular owner right here. It's going to give remarks, valuations. So it's going to give an awful lot of things on here that your clients will have the ability to go through and look at. Now, you will notice real quickly, there is a portion about valuation. Now, even you guys, when you go into the farming section and you get to the valuation portion, you as an agent can change the valuation of a property. But please know, when you do that, the valuation that displays is going to show, but it's also going to show that it's coming from you, and it will have your name and contact information associated with it. Just like this is First American, this is Black Knight, and then this is a Zestimate right here. So if you put your own fee or your own valuation in there for property, it's going to, when they hover, it's going to give your name and your contact information. So you may just want to be careful about that, unless you're just 100% sure that the valuation you're putting in is correct. And I'm not quite sure that I would recommend that for anybody, because you may not want those phone calls. But this is the type information that your client will be able to see. They can also go to a map view right in this section. When they go in, they can go to the valuation. If you look over to the far side, listing details, public record. This is going to be the tax information, the property history. So if someone comes in here, clicks on the property history, they're going to be able to see the history on the property, who owned the property, what the transaction deed type was. Was it a warranty deed? Was it a limited warranty? Was it a quick claim deed? Whatever the situation may have been from that particular transaction. So they're going to also have access to that. And then it will give similar listings in the same area down here at the bottom. So there's a lot of information, and what at this point, this is still relatively new. The only thing I can tell you, they may adjust on the view of this, Remind may adjust where some of the information is located. The information will stay the same, but the formatting may change a little bit. And I'm not saying it is, but I'm just saying that that's kind of still out there right now. As people start using this more, they may adjust something and just put it in a different location. But this is what the agent site will look like. The way we got there, of course, was once they registered, then it opens up the search field. If they want to change their search, they can come in here and they can say reset filters. And when they reset, it's going to open it back up. Maybe I want to put in a zip code 30005. Maybe it's a zip code that someone's looking for. So here's the zip code. Now I have rent selected here. You have the filters at the top or criteria at the top that you can change. I can go from a rent property. I say, no, I want a for sale property. So if I select for sale right here, then it's going to take off the for rent and I would reset it. Whoops. And that should change it. For some reason, it's not wanting to. I've had some internet problems myself this morning, but they should be able to change it. And they say single family, whatever their price points are, bedrooms, bathrooms, new listings, and more. And then also, I don't know why this doesn't want to change. Well, oh, yes, I do. Let me redo that. Try that again, see if that will change it. Okay. I don't know why that's not changing. I don't know if it's something that I have in my cache or what, but they're going to be able to go through and reset this from the single, property type, the price points, bedrooms, baths. Do they only want to see new listings? And then they can also save the search. The beauty of this is everything that they do, you as the agent are going to go back and be able to see that information. This is very funny. Remember, I told you guys I initially set up as Mickey Mouse? Well, there's Mickey. So obviously they never cleared Mickey out of everything, but there's Mickey Mouse for me. So don't do that. I can, I always say I can't tell you everything to do, but I can probably tell you what to do because over the past 30 years, I've probably done everything that you shouldn't do. I've probably done that at some point. So don't set up your website as Mickey Mouse because you'll never be able to change it. So guys, that's kind of it in a nutshell. It's a simple product. The main thing you need to know is how to get there. And we went through Remind. We got there through the FMLS homepage. We went directly into Remind, brings you to the Remind homepage or the Pro or the farming page. And then once you get to that, you simply go down to your name. You click on your name. You go to settings, and then all the settings are on this one page. It's just